Welcome to Seize the Mains by Malhotra's IAS Academy. I'm Surbhi Sardana, taking this initiative from Monday to Saturday at 9 p.m. See, this initiative is basically to guide you for answer writing for civil services mains examination. All the content that we discuss here is coordinated with our website. This is rajayesacademy.com, our website. The link is present in the description. There is this mains answer writing section where all the content of Seize the Mains, the model questions and answers that gets uploaded, all of them get uploaded here. Also, we have a comment section under each and every question. Here you can post your answers and our team evaluates those, gives their feedback entirely free of cost, so that you learn with us and you also polish your skills with regards to answer writing on a daily basis. All the topics that we discuss on Seize the Mains are from current affairs. So let's see what is the topic for today. Menstrual leaves. Menstrual leaves, as you know, recently, Spain has become the first country in European Union which has granted women paid menstrual leaves on a monthly basis. See, this is a sensitive topic and many of you might be very well connected to it, while others might not even understand it. So you might want to skip it, but just, stand your ground, just hold on for a while. What we see is that as a society we need to grow together, and all of us, basically it was a woman behind giving us birth, our mothers basically. So issues associated with any section of society, or not just any section of society, such an important section of society, that is women, which are responsible for procreation, for reproduction, for actually giving birth to the next generation, for running this world. Basically their rights, their pain, not just rights, their pain, which is a regular pain that has to be recognized. Though we feel that in a country like India it is very far-fetched, menstrual leaves cannot be a reality, but it has been made a reality by many of the private companies and many of the governments of state as well, state governments in our country, and governments all around the globe. So this issue, this is going to remain important not just for your mains perspective, but for your interview as well, and your perspective, what kind of administrator you become, because a policy regarding menstrual leaves is long pending and it would be around the corner anytime. So yes, the question for day 201. Let's see, let's look at the question. Let's try to understand this first. The awareness regarding women issues and women rights has been rising around the globe, with Spain becoming the first country in European Union to grant paid menstrual leaves for women employees. Examine the need of menstrual leaves for females in India. Answer in 250 words. See, why have we taken this examine question right now, or not a discuss question, or not a justify or any comment question? Examine the need means you will have to see that what are the pros, what are the arguments in favor, and what are the arguments against this particular subject, this particular topic of conversation. And this is exactly the the environment that is prevailing in India right now. Recently the Supreme Court issued some comments, it gave some comments have been coming from various state governments from time to time, many political leaders from time to time. So right now the environment in the country is about examining the situation. So this examine question is very likely in your mains examination. So let's see how to address this question. First of all, let's look at the first part of the statement. First part of the statement says that the awareness regarding women issues and women rights has been rising, and then it basically brings your focus towards paid menstrual leaves for women. So let's write an introduction first. Let's write down that why women rights and women issues are so important, and these issues, they're not just personal issues which which should remain personal with every girl or with every woman. These are basically societal issues because we depend on them for procreation. So yes, first of all, let's start very softly. Let's write down the basic fundamentals of nature. Basically, women are empowered to propagate the human race with their ability to procreate. It then becomes necessary to acknowledge many physical and mental hardships they undergo during the different stages of maternity. Focus here, including menstruation, pregnancy or miscarriage, or any other medical complications that arise on the way. And we are focusing here on maternity because we have mentioned procreation here, and menstruation is the first step for maternity. It is essential for maternity. So in spite of making numerous provisions for women in difficult stages of their maternity, especially through the Maternity Benefit Act of 1961, if you remember, there is this Maternity Benefit Act of 1961, under which women are given, working women are given paid maternity leave for around like 26 weeks. The very first stage of motherhood, although there are many provisions for maternity under the Maternity Benefit Act of 1961, but the very first stage of motherhood, it has been largely ignored, and that is the menstruation. The menstrual period has been knowingly or unknowingly ignored by society, the legislatures and the other stakeholders in society. So yes, as of now there are only two states in the country, which that is Bihar and Kerala, which grant menstrual leaves to females. In Bihar, menstrual leaves have been granted since 1992, and in Kerala it started in January 2023, and that is just for female students, not for female employees as such. So let's look at the positive or arguments in favor that why menstrual leaves are important, why should they be granted. So the following reasons validate the argument that paid menstrual leaves should be a reality in India. So yes, here largely will not write in points, because yes, we cannot have 10 points. What we can have is just one reason, and we can focus around that. We can justify that reason more and more, we can emphasize on that. So first of all, let's start with some data. According to American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, period pain or dysmenorrhea is a common phenomena. More than half of menstruating women, and it is close to 80% somewhere, almost 80% of menstruating women, they experience pain for 1 or 2 days every month. For some, the pain is so severe, so excruciating that they are unable to perform normal activities for several days. So yes, let's say female employees are employed. There is a lot of female workforce in an office or anywhere in the country. So if a person is going through such excruciating pain, what option does she have? She has the option to take leave, and that would be an unpaid leave, because for 2-3 days there are no companies which allow you paid leaves for 2-3 days. Either you use leaves from your pool of leaves that is prevailing on an annual basis, or you just go unpaid on a leave. So yes, as the representation of women in the workforce in our country is steadily rising, recognition of menstrual pain becomes an important factor. The first step is recognition, that becomes an important factor. Secondly, this makes it menstrual cycle or menstrual pain, it makes it difficult for women to open up to their male colleagues about how they're functioning, what currently their health status is, for fear of being judged, and more importantly, to be able to run around at equal pace as their male counterparts, to perform the same way with the same efficiency as before. So moreover, with various lifestyle changes, there is other issue, that is premenstrual syndrome, which affects mental health of women. It affects mood of women, it impacts concentration level of all women, and this happens every 28 days. It happens on a monthly basis, and these women, they basically function around us. They are our sisters, mothers, daughters, and whatnot. So yes, this is so that is why we need to focus on this issue a lot. The discomfort and limited or no access to clean and hygienic alternatives, whether in schools or at workplaces, acts as roadblocks for women's participation in the workforce. So yes, vending machines have been provided in many schools and many workplaces, but still there are large areas in our country, many areas in our country, where basic sanitation facilities, basic hygiene facilities are not available for women. So what women do is, if they are in school, they opt out of schools, and other women, they opt out of jobs. So menstrual leave for 1 or 2 days, and also access to affordable hygienic conditions, will push the participation of women in workforce, and also in schools, also in educational institutions, we'll see a rise, because women will then know that yes, they will have comfort for a few days whenever they are in need on a monthly basis. So also offering menstruation leave, it can also help to reduce the stigma that is prevailing around in the society, that this is something that has to be hidden or being talked about only in women's circles. By acknowledging the normalcy of menstruation and promoting an open and supportive workplace culture. So this is very important here. It can help promote gender equality in the workplace, which is we are aiming for. We are not only aiming for participation of more women in the workforce, but we are also aiming for gender equality in the workplace. So yes, now these were the some of the data and some of the arguments which were in favor. Now there is just one argument that stands against it, and that is a cause of concern not just for governments around the globe but for judiciary judiciary also, as seen recently in a recent PIL. So yes, however, there are few arguments which have kept the government from approving a legislation in this regard. The most important of them is the possible fallout of employers getting dissuaded to engage a large female workforce, that employers might not be motivated to employ women, especially in jobs which demand a lot of responsibility and a lot of presence. So women, it is well known, they are already underpaid. That is, we have all the data available. So yes, women are largely underpaid than their male counterparts, and according to World Bank, the participation of women in workforce in India from 2010 to 2020, it has gone down. It has gone down from 28% to 19%, and it might go down further if such a policy or such a law comes up. That is a fear that is prevailing in the country. So it has been argued that introduction of such a policy could disincentivize employers from hiring women, or it would render the women even more underpaid than before. So a concern that even the Supreme Court recently highlighted this concern. So yes, that was the argument against it, that why is it tough to bring such a law. Now let's focus on the society part of it, since this is a GS paper 2 question where policies or issues related to vulnerable sections of population, and then they are a part of your syllabus. So see, Indian Constitution and Indian democracy is all about promoting equity. So it is the responsibility of governments to ensure a social order, social and economic order. Here we are talking about participation in workforce, social, more equity or equality, in which all sections have avenues to grow and their needs are addressed. So menstruation and the discomfort that is associated with it, it is not a personal issue and it should not remain a personal problem, but an issue that is societal and which must be addressed with empathy. So support of the private sector that can be brought in, because a lot of private companies have already taken very liberal steps in this regard. For example, companies like Zomato, GoZoop, Culture Machines, Swiggy and Byju's, they have already made such provisions for their employees, the provisions of menstrual leave. Now, in addition to leave, not just menstrual leave, there are different facilities that can be arranged for women, so that they can be comfortable in the educational institutes and their workplaces. For example, work from home, a comfortable and healthy working environment which does not shun conversations about menstruation, and providing for period care in the office itself. A pan-India policy on menstrual leave, that is the need of the hour. Sooner or later it has to come in for females, from educational institutions to offices to factories. That is the need and demand of a better social order. However, any policy in this regard, it should be accompanied with strict no victimization conditions, that women should not be seen as victims, or they should not be rendered as victims as a result of such a policy coming up. The participation in workforce, that should not go down. The disparities or the discrimination that goes on, that should not go down. So no victimization conditions, they should be ensured, and such a policy, such a liberal policy, that is the need of the hour. So yes, that's the content for today's topic. Look for question 201 on rajayesacademy.com. Here you have this mains answer writing section. The link to this website is present in the description. Just click on it, click on the mains answer writing section, and on this landing page, look for question 201 for the entire content that has been discussed here. Read the entire answer as a whole and post your answers in the comment section below it. Our team will evaluate them and give back to you their feedback. So yes, I'll see you with another discussion tomorrow at 9 PM of Seize the Mains. Stay tuned to the channel, keep working hard, and all the best.